Today in the Boot Guide, we are looking at the Keen Utility Baltimore. So one of the innovative things that Keen has done when it comes to safety footwear is that they have taken the idea of the safety toe and they redesigned it and they recreated it to be an asymmetrical safety toe. Now there's a lot of companies that have followed what Keen has done, that have saw the light and understood that having a safety toe not just be this very blanketed single thing that goes inside a boot, but that it should have some shape and form, and that shape and form should be engineered and designed around the human foot and not around an idea. But let's first look at some other parts of this boot. Like, let's take a really good look at the sole. Whatever this new sole compound that they're using on their direct attach boots, and this is a direct attach boot. First they build the upper, then they take the upper and they put it in their molding machine and they mold the sole around the upper. So basically this whole sole is one piece of material that has been chemically adhered to the leather of the upper. And that's what makes Keen so flexible nowadays. But whatever this material is that they're using, whatever the chemistry is, I have to say it is really, really nice when it comes to slip resistancy. For some reason, this has been one of the better boots that I've had on my foot walking across marble and tile floors over the last few months. I found that when its water is present on a real hard surface, like marble and tile floors are extremely hard, they're finished, they're glazed, they have a clear coat across them, so water has no place to go until it falls into the grout. So if you're on a 12-inch tile or a 24-inch tile, that's a lot of surface for you to travel before you get to grout, which would stick to any sole material. This Keen is something else on water displacement. You get a little bit of movement, maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe a 32nd, just enough to wake you up and say, hey, pay attention, and this thing grips. It's pretty damn nice. Now the flexibility of this stuff is outstanding too, but this flexibility is also emphasized by the fact that it has a full shank that runs from the heel to the forefoot, and it also has a nice hard footboard underneath the insole. So the upper is a waterproof leather. It's very few pieces, so the waterproof dries membrane that's inside the boot has more of a chance of fighting off the water instead of building all those chunks and all those places for water to gather inside and making it much harder for your heat and your sweat to escape the boot. Having fewer pieces of leather really makes a lot of sense, and Keen has got a home run with that. Now, like I said, it's an asymmetrical steel toe, so it's steel, it's magnetic. Having steel in something like this that is a very versatile boot, it's not a super heavy duty boot, but it's nowhere near light duty. This boot has got a lot of beef to it. But having a steel toe just means that you can go in and out of different environments and not worry if you should have an impact on the steel toe. You have an impact on a comp toe, more than likely you have to replace your comp toes for the OSHA requirements. Steel, not so. You drop something on it, as long as you don't bend the steel, you can keep wearing the boot till it falls apart. Now this collar section is one of the sections that I don't like. I don't like the fact that they use the same material on the outside as on the inside. Now, most of the time, the guys wearing this boot are wearing basic crew socks, and we all know that eventually your crew socks, they lose a little something and they start falling down your ankle. So having that type of vinyl type material, it's not a leather, it is a PU, a polyurethane or a vinyl of sorts. Having this material on a hot, sweaty day in a waterproof boot is probably going to be a little uncomfortable. It's probably going to cause a little chafing, but as long as you got nice, good new socks on, or at least tall socks on, you'll probably never notice it. I just wish they would have used a nice soft mesh on the inside that would have even taken away any chance of any friction or discomfort. Now, when you look deep down inside there, Check out that Dries liner. Now, the beauty of Keen and their Dries liner, because they're molding the sole to the upper, they don't need to use a full booty. They only need to stop it right underneath the molding of the sole. So they can do more with the design of their waterproof liner, which means that they can add it to the tongue section like this, which means that they can just stop it at a certain point, or they can continue it. They can move it around. On the Baltimore, they did a really nice job. It's right at the top of the gusset of the tongue, so it makes a lot of sense. You are waterproof to this line right here. Eyelids and speed laces, well, Keen has been really leading the way when it comes to putting together interesting speed laces. Their eyelids are very basic, but the speed lace, it's really deep in there. It's a locking speed lace, so once you get that first one locked in and you pull tight on it, it's gonna be a pain in the butt if you should have to loosen it. They don't loosen quickly. When I say it's a pain in the butt, I mean, yeah, okay, your boots stay tight all day and it's a very nice thing. But if you like to take your boots off quickly, you're gonna have to focus some energy on actually pulling it out and waiting for that click to happen. But as long as you can look past all that, your boots stay tight all day, you get a really nice tight fit. The speed lace is outstanding. So what about this? Keen's new footbed. So they used to use those sock liners that we remember in all the Keen utility boots, and now they're starting to use something like this, which is a single density urethane material that has a wicking material adhered to the surface. Now, this is a pretty nice insole for Keen. I always like the sock liners, but this really takes Keen on a different direction because of the new material on the sole that they're using, and by adding something like this for an insole, they're creating a boot that's more like a gym shoe, has more of that soft bounce comfort and less like a heavy duty hard hiking boot, which is what we all remember from. They were still primarily an outdoor company that was making high-end safety shoes. Now they're making their safety shoes feel more like casual shoes. And that's what a lot of guys want. They don't want a heavy duty boot. They want something that's soft and comfortable and bouncy. Baltimore just might be the answer to that. Now, all in all, when it comes to size and fit on the Baltimore, right out of the box, they're comfortable. This is not a break-in boot, and Keen has engineered it that way. You might have to loosen up the leather for a day or two, but there's no getting the sole flexed in or getting the insides to kind of feel right or getting the leather soft. It's soft out of the box. And Keen has done something else that I really like seeing. It's the size scale on the Baltimore. They're going from 7 to 15 with regulars and wides. So they're giving a lot of people the chance to feel something that is super comfortable. And I really appreciate that. And I really like that they're going in that direction. And I really like this direction for them for a work boot, because not everything needs to be an outdoor heavy duty type boot. Having something casual like this, having something with a real steel toe that a guy that drives a truck or delivers can wear, that a guy who has to go in and out of kitchens doing that type of work, this boot is really practical for a large section of the working community. So that's the Keen Baltimore. Steel toe, asymmetrical steel toe with this beautiful, soft, grippy sole. Hey, if you've ever worn Keen Baltimore, please comment below. If you're wearing anything from Keen with the new slip-resistant to soft material sole, please comment below and just let guys know where you're wearing them and if they are as comfortable as I'm saying. If you found it to be uncomfortable, please comment below. If you agree with me on all my points, please comment below. If you want to see some detailed photos of the Keen Baltimore, of the inside, of the footbed, of how they construct that whole interior section with the Keen Dries, swing by tobootguy.com. There I will have a full blog posting titled The Keen Baltimore, and I'll have all the photos there for you. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. It really helps out. And remember, if you're on Instagram or Twitter, you can always follow me there. If you're about to pick up a pair of these Baltimores and you just got some questions about size and fit and whether or not this is going to be the right boot for your line of work, feel free to shoot me over an email. All right, until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.